This is a video intended for the Long Island Tea Syndicate. Well, I've had a whirlwind of a couple of weeks. Last weekend I was in Tokyo riding around the Olympic Games, and a couple of days later I was back on top of my old buddy Ludwig for the Fairhill Horse Trials. Ludwig and I did the open preliminary event at Fairhill on Saturday. Obviously this is a very, very easy low-level event for Ludwig. I put him in this class for a couple of reasons. Firstly, he basically hasn't been jumping very much while I was away. I chose not to have any of my assistants jump him. He's a unique horse to jump, and he's sort of a one-person horse, if you know what I mean. So he hardly did any jumping. I gave him a jump the day I got back, and he felt good. And also, he's a horse that thrives on confidence, and one of my strategies is obviously had a tough time around Kentucky 5-star in April, and then he went well at Jersey, but he gave me that feeling of being a little bit rattled. So with his training at home before I went to the Olympics was very, very easy cross-country schooling. It was taking him out to the cross-country field and cantering around and jumping over novice and training size cross-country jumps, and sort of almost trying to make him a little bit bored. I think I made the mistake of pointing him at every big and bold and technical fence that I had out there, and sometimes I worry that I overwhelm him. So since Jersey, he's really just done some lower level fences, and with the idea that he just takes a breath and it's not too hard for him. And I think the plan worked, because this weekend at Fairhill, man, he felt good around the cross country. He just sort of loped around. The head wasn't in the air, or he wasn't charging at the fence. It's quite good, and I was sort of a bit more relaxed that I could try and ride him on a little bit of a looser rein. So obviously this is his dressage test. It's a preliminary dressage test, which was quite easy for Ludwig. There's no fancy movements or flying changes or half pass, and again, in a weird kind of way, this is quite good for him just to go in there and do basic work. He looks in good shape. He's got good muscle on him. He feels really healthy. He feels fresh and happy. While I was away, I had Silver doing a bit of the dressage, and then Mike, my sort of assistant's been doing a lot of hacking, work on the hills, bit of fitness work and some flat work on him, and he's been cantering up the track once or twice a week as well. So you sort of don't need to teach him anything new, if you know what I mean. Like, he is an experienced horse that knows the job. You know, it's more just trying to sort of keep him fresh and sweet. So he scored a 28 in the dressage, which is not too bad considering I only rode him once or twice on the flat before the test. And then we had the show jumping, which you'll see in a minute, which was out on the grass at Fairhill, and then around quite an easy track. And with the cross country, I just went really, really slow. I just sort of cantered around and tried to give him a bit of a loose rein, lope around nice and easy. And I mean, the ground was a bit hard, to be quite honest, so I think it was good for him just to cruise around. Didn't take too much energy out of him. Our next event, I'd like to, after this weekend, I was quite pleased with him, the way he felt there at Fairhill. So I think the next event I'm going to take him to is down to Kentucky. It's the American Eventing Championships, and it's a great event. Obviously, it's at the horse park. It'll be right up Ludwig's alley in the stadium, hopefully for the dressage and show jumping. And it's a big event, actually. He won it a couple of years ago, and there's good prize money there, and the ground should be good. In the back of my mind, I would love to get him to Fairhill 5-star. And like I said earlier, the key with Ludwig is confidence. So, going around this preliminary level show jumping course was just happy days for Ludwig. I sort of tried to think back on everything that was successful with him a couple of years ago when he was the horse of the year, and I pulled out his old jumping bridle, and for some reason I kept on changing bits, and I thought, well, hang on, the best I've ever had him going was 2019, and this was the bridle I had. It's a cherry roller bit, which when he sort of races at the jump, it sort of holds him together a bit. So blew the dust off the old bridle and got back to my old ways. And you see, as the course goes on, Ludwig gets a bit hyped up. I was really, really pleased, like considering how little jumping he's done. He came out and stayed relatively relaxed and chill and gave me a good round. And I went at grandma speed around the cross country here. Now the ground was not the greatest. It was pretty dry and hard, so it sort of worked well. The grass was nice and thick, so it wasn't terrible footing, but I sort of just wanted him to take a breath and sort of potter around the course. And it worked out well. I felt like it was a round where he relaxed, enjoyed himself, a little bit of a fitness run. It's quite nice actually going to a competition, obviously the Olympics. I was nervous as hell and stressed and pressure, and then riding a horse of Ludwig's calibre around Fair Hill Open preliminary was quite relaxing and enjoyable, and especially I wasn't trying to be too competitive on him, so it was quite a different stress level than the weekend before. He's a good boy, Ludwig. He knows all the jumps. And I'm going to sort of continue on this path of just trying to keep him confident and not overface him in his training towards the championships in Kentucky, and just take it week by week. And like I said before, I couldn't be more pleased with the way he went. He gave me a good feeling and seemed happy and healthy after the competition.